At the beginning of the 11th chapter, Arjun says that his mind is now clear of all delusions. And Arjun expresses his desire to see the cosmic manifestations of Lord Krishna. He wants to see Lord Krishna in all his magnificence, in all his opulence, in all his multiplicity. He wants to see the whole form of Lord Krishna. And he says that if I am the right person, agar main supatra hoon, if I am worthy of beholding the imperishable self of God, then show me the form. Grant me this wish. And Krishna is in a benevolent mood. Krishna grants him that wish. O Arjun, behold the entire universe with the moving and non-moving in me, along with whatever else you wish to see. Krishna grants Arjun divine eyes to see the opulence, magnificence and magic of God. Divine eyes. Arjun witnesses the unbelievable vision of thousands faces of God, all ornamented and garlanded. If 1,000 suns were to rise in the sky, all at once, the brilliance might resemble that of the universal being. Thousands of suns lit up in the sky together, simultaneously, that might be compared to the magnificence of God. Krishna is kind to Arjun. He is pampering Arjun like a favorite child. He allows Arjun to see him. Then, filled with wonderment, his hairs standing upright, Arjun bowed down his head to the Lord with his palms folded. Arjun surrenders. As we have said earlier also, in earlier chapters we have seen that Srimad Bhagavad Gita describes the power of surrender. Srimad Bhagavad Gita tells us that we have to axe our ego. We have to cut our ego. Arrogance is not allowed. Complete surrender before God, complete surrender before people you respect. That is mandatory for a noble life. Arjun surrenders himself completely. Arjun describes how he has seen Shiva, Brahma, sages, serpents, and how he has seen the unlimited forms of God with eyes, arms, mouths and bellies in all directions. The timeless form of Krishna with his radiant face and Sudarshan Chakra capture Arjun. The prayer of Arjun is touching. It is touching indeed. These words are describing something beyond words. Words are our only means to reach out to that power, glory, radiance, benevolence, that light, that tej, which is beyond words. The light of God is beyond words. It is a difficult task, but as perfectly performed as is humanly possible. Krishna shows the army of Duryodhan already dying. The army of Duryodhan already dying in his fearsome form. Arjun offers his obeisance to the Supreme Lord. Arjun again asks a simple yet genuine question. It is a question, the next question that Arjun is asking, it arises in all of us. All of us at some point or the other ask this question. This question rises in our mind. He says, I want to understand you, but I cannot understand your actions. I want to understand you, God, but I do not understand your actions. Krishna answers, I am time, the powerful destroyer of the world, who has come forth to wipe out everyone. Even without your participation, the opposition will be slain. Even without your participation, the opposition will be slain. The opposition is dead. Krishna asks Arjun to kill the dead. To kill the dead. I infer these lines as the victory of good over evil. Evil is dead. Evil is a dead force. It is for the virtuous to rise only and take the credit of killing the evil. Because evil has no lasting force of its own. Evil is bound to be defeated. That is how I see these words. The evil will always be defeated by the good. It is only for the virtuous among humans to rise and take credit as God's gift. Arjun offers prayers in beautiful words dipped in devotion again and again. In this chapter there are prayers of Arjun to Lord Krishna. Obeisance to you from front, behind, and from all sides. Your boundless might and inexhaustible courage. You pervade all. You are everything. So many prayers. Arjuna is full of prayers. 43 and 44 again, very touching lines. He says that I have called you buddy, I have joked with you. Please forgive me. I have been informal with you, Krishna, but you are God. I never knew, I never realized. And in that continuation only, in 43 and 44, he says, Pitasi lokasya characharasya tvamasva pujascha guru garmiyan natva tamaso satabhya dikah kuto neodhi lokatraye path pratima prabhav tasmat pranamya pranidham kayam prasadaye tvam hamish midayam piteva putrasya sakhena sarvayuha priyah priyaya harsi deva sodhum. Beautiful lines, beautiful lines. The translation is like this. You are the Father of the universe, of all things moving and stationary. You are worshipable Chief, the Supreme Master. You have no equals in the three worlds. Oh, you are of unrivaled power. I therefore surrender myself before you. I therefore surrender myself to you. O Lord, O God, please show mercy on me and tolerate my mistakes just as a father tolerates his son's misbehavior. A friend tolerates the misdoing of his friend, and a lover his beloved. In that spirit, forgive my mistakes. Forgive my mistakes. That is how Arjun is, completely surrendered, completely in devotion. Arjun is the right person. Supatra hai Arjun. Arjun says that seeing Krishna in his fearsome form has shaken him. After seeing his fearsome form, Arjun is shaken. And he requests God to show him his ornamented self once again. He says that please show me your pleasant form, smiling, benevolent form once again. Sanjay said, having spoken thus to Arjun, the Lord then manifested his four-armed form and into his gentle two-armed human form and pacified the frightened warrior. He pacified the frightened warrior. He came to normal self once again. Just as we see in Ramcharitmanas, where Ma Kaushalya asks Lord Ram, the child, to come to his normal self. Ki jai Sisulila Atisay. The childhood of Lord Ram when it is described. So the prayer is to return to the normal self, and Lord Krishna does that, and then Arjun comes to his normal self. Arjun is becoming fighting fit. Lord Krishna has raised Arjun's level. Lord Krishna has raised Arjun's vision. He has shown him past, present, future in one go. He has made him realize that action is inescapable. That is, he has raised the mental status of Arjun to that level where he is fighting, he is ready to fight without thinking of anything else. Just doing his duty, just living in the moment, doing the right thing. That is how he prepares him. So this is the 11th chapter. We will continue. Thank you so much.